Welcome to another episode of the First Flame Scrolls. I'm Kathleen Haley. Today is actually episode 7, and it's a continuation of what was in 6, which is the inversion versus the harmonic field. But this continuation is talking more about what is harmonics versus what I'm referring to as the inversion, which is a mirror. Who are we? Why are we here in this human suit, in this human form? What are we doing? What is this thing called life? And are we living life, or are we dying our way out of this physical reality? And it's an interesting thing. So as I was going deeper in the energy and looking at how, or thinking about, I suppose, or expanding into the energy of how this wanted to come forward, of course, I've said this many times before, and those that know energy and frequency recognize that your thoughts are creating, and they are, just from an everyday perspective that says I think about something and then I go get it, or I make it if it's a food, or something in my home. But the reality is that the unseen, the invisible world is creating everything that appears visible. And in the harmonic universe, in the true source aspect of self, harmony and balance are felt 24/7. And the way the design of the human vessel is that, the body is made up of cells and become organs, become structures, become all of these aspects, and they're really chemical reactions. They're geometries that have organized themselves together to create a body. And this is, so there's a generalization of a human body, and then there's different variances of the body. And in the way that we have been experiencing, the human body grows to a certain maturity, and then that growth stops in certain ways, and some parts grow and some parts don't grow, and then there's this dying process that begins to happen where we call that aging, and then till there's a leaving the planet. And in this organic, the way that we've been taught through the inversion field is that we have a soul, and that soul enters into the body or communicates to the body, and then it just operates in the body, and the body does its thing, and eventually we die. But that's because we've been taught that, because in that there's no harmony between what the soul, and the soul is you. That's what I've referred to as your library of information. So each individuation of source consciousness has a reason for being here, and a uniqueness. It's like you are your own library of information, and you are a unique library to somebody else. It's like the difference between a scientific library and an artistic library. They're different, but they all become one in the bigger library called Source. I happen to be the first flame, so I'm the mirror of the full library of Source consciousness, which is why my individual life has been challenging, because I never had a particular direction to go. I have infinite books to read, and not that each one of you doesn't have the infinite ability of source consciousness itself, but you have a more, we'll say, directed path of consciousness, because you have, we'll say, a more narrow view, a more narrow direction, in the sense that you have specific books that are you when you discover who you are. So the more that you read your own books, basically, and learn who you are and become brave enough to become that, is when you come in harmony with reality. So the organic design is that we are expressed as source, as energy, and then we communicate with the essence of a physical body that is taking shape and form, which is the fetus, the baby. And that communication, the baby, the energy of the body in its organic form, is already in full harmony and communication with the earth. Because we're not on the earth, we are one with the earth. We are made up of the components of the earth: water, air, ether, earth, fire, which is the movement. So we are the elements of the earth itself. It is the geometry, the energetics of the physical body. So when the harmonic universe is felt, which is always under the surface of this inversion, the design of the human body is that the human body is vibrating in harmony and unity with all things living on and as this earth, the cellular body. So before it comes into any form, and as it's coming into form, it's still in this vibration, so it's in harmony and balance. And then you, as your soul, begin to communicate with that harmony and balance your information of you, which is what forms you as the growth continues from the fetus into the human, and then eventually into what becomes the adult form. So you have everything to do with how you physically show up in the world. It's why your body is constantly shaping and changing, why weight changes, why different things change, why we have, the eye color we have, why our teeth change, why our skin changes, whatever happens, has to do with our individuation, communication with our cellular body over quote unquote time. We're growing or not. And the inversion has us not. Has us directing all of our awareness outside of ourselves. Now remember, the invisible, unseen, is creating the seen. So how the inversion works and is created is by us creating it. It doesn't just exist on its own. It is a mirror image of consciousness itself, of energy and frequency. And it can only exist because we are creating it. And how are we creating it? We're creating it by not recognizing that the most important thing is harmony in our physical body, with ourselves, with the earth, with life. And so humanity has been guided to forget about the body, change it, alter it, liposuck, do whatever to have it appear to be in a place of harmony, so that we can hold patterns within ourselves that are creating the inversion energy. And what does that mean? It means how the inversion, this mirror image works, is by keeping the physical body on 24/7, keeping your nervous system on through fear, through doubt, through somebody watching you. It's why we have so much surveillance, so many different things that are going on, so that there's always this feeling of perfection, that's striving, that seems to be outside. So if you continue that, then your inside is constantly trying to find itself. It's chaotic. So you've basically allowed for fear to be the operating system of your human vessel. It's inside. And you don't even know why. And that's the game. And that game creates this outward energy. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that we've been convinced as humanity to find your feelings from something outside. I find happiness by drinking alcohol or playing a game or anything, which a lot of that, in playing games or connecting with people, that is great. But if you notice, the difference is I'm already happy inside in order for me to settle and participate in, let's just say, like a board game or something with people where we're connecting together. There's a level of participation. Sometimes and sometimes not. But mostly what we've been guided to do is to forget this vessel. It doesn't matter what is truly happening here. I'm uncomfortable, I'm whatever, but I'm going to micromanage myself. I'm going to, bring myself into a place of inorganic harmony, because I'm gonna show up in the way I'm supposed to show up. I'm going to make myself a certain way. I'm going to act a certain way. I'm going to, control myself. And through that, then I can participate in what's the outside world. And the outside world is going to keep bringing shiny new things all the time for me to distract myself with. And I'm noticing, even in the spiritual community, and not to, there's no judgment and there's no anything about it, but if you notice that even the conferences and the things are all about pomp and circumstance. It's all about greater, better. Look at this one, and there's like a celebrity status that goes with these way showers, whether they're podcasters or people that teach energy and frequency or channels or things like that. There's this celebrity energetics where we're like desperate, and that's no different than a drug. And that, it's as though they're the dealer and the drug and we're the addict, and so there we got to get that, and that's that outward feeling. It doesn't matter what's going on here. And so that's the idea that somehow the outside world is going to fix this inside world. And so we draw towards it. And most of these people, their hearts can be in the right place. It's not that they desire celebrityship, although many of them do. It's like I have met many that I know that their hearts are in the right place. But this is the difference between embodiment, which I've talked about a little bit in some of the other episodes, that when you're not embodied, embodiment means that I am in harmony as my soul essence. I've read my books. I know who I am. I've dropped in and connected that essence with me, with my vehicle. I know I'm unique, I'm different, so as that difference, not everybody's going to like me. Some will, some won't. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to be me, whatever that is. So I've dropped in, I'm communicating with this, and that communication is communicating the earth, and therefore I feel the essence of the earth itself, the plants, the trees, the animals, humanity. And in that, it's actually much more quiet. It's a quietness because it's a observation. It's a recognizing what's happening. The communication is moving in a way, and you begin to notice all the ways that humanity is not noticing. And this is the way in which we have, we choose lawns and grass over, the bugs and the animals and the creation itself, or the land and the growth. And we don't notice, and so the chemicals and the poisoning, and we become afraid of things, and we think that having this perfect space and this cleanliness is way better than nature. And it's not to say that we can't have the things that we desire, but there's a harmonious way of having this where it includes life. Because part of this conversation I said before is that in the harmonic universe, when we are in harmonic balance and synergy and reciprocity, when our soul essence is communicating to the cellular body as one and as the earth, life continues, growth continues. It doesn't stop, because it's life. We are infinite. As energy and frequency, we are infinite. And so we're not meant to die. We're not meant to deteriorate. We're not meant to fall apart. We're not meant to get sick. All of those things are creations of the inversion for many different ways, for many different reasons. And we have aligned to those things. And so, this outward pomp and circumstance is what keeps us from embodiment. And I'm noticing it's becoming more. That even, like I said, with a lot of the way showers, there's this things that are coming up where they're getting more spectacular, and they're bringing in more tools, which is great. But the tools are meant to be internal. Symbols, sounds, structures are how the universe works in harmony and balance. If you could see energy and frequency the way that I can see it, you would see the magical energetics that are taking place. The physical body is not really a solid structure in the way that it appears to be. It's moving, and we know this by the cells are moving, the various different bloodstream is moving, everything is moving. Without movement, we don't think of life. It's a difference. It's movement. It creates life. So there is a movement that's happening all the time within the physical vehicle. It's a harmonious connection together. And that movement in the outside world can appear very quiet, very connected, because the outside world wants to create harmony and balance by spectacle, by bringing things outward, and so that you then focus your attention outward. And again, we then don't know what's happening inward, and we feel if I go to this event, if I participate in this, if I do this breath work, if I follow this thing, then I'm somehow going to arrive and I'm going to somehow be embodied. But if it's the same me, the one that's searching, the one that's forgotten the body, the one that has not read my own books and knows who I am, performing outwardly, no matter what is being brought outwardly, how can the embodiment occur? But if instead we start here, we drop in, we notice, why am I drawn to the things I'm drawn to? How is that a part of me? Not what am I seeking to become something outside of myself, more that I'm already that, and this me hasn't recognized that yet. For myself, I've always had a level of embodiment. I think as the first flame, it's just been a natural. I've always known that something wasn't right in this world, that things were upside down and backwards, that it didn't make sense, that there had to be more to life. And the irony is, and I've talked about this many times before, that my physical life right now isn't so spectacular to the physical world. I go on walks and I feed the ducks and I feed the squirrels and I enjoy it. And I would say before that that's all I do. And now I realize, like, wow, it's amazing. And it becomes so full and it becomes so amazing. And you begin to feel the essence. And it's only a beginning. It's a beginning. But we have to begin to connect, to communicate. And from that, and I know that each one of us has a unique soul essence, right? And as your soul essence, come into harmony with yourself, then you're bringing what's called a template of everything that is you in harmony and balance for everyone else to experience. And this is the unwinding, this is the unfoldment of the harmonic versus the inversion. This is how the inversion stops. It's not through fighting and warring, it's through becoming irrelevant, because as each one of us in the simplicity of our lives realizes that the ordinary is extraordinary. And why? Because what we've been taught is ordinary is so dumbed down to nothingness. But what's really ordinary is me. And I'm representing the ordinary that's extraordinary, that is harmonic, that is creation itself. And, you could listen to me, you could hear this, but you're feeling something. If you're drawn to this, you're feeling something. And there is a harmonic balance happening within you as you are experiencing these scrolls. And I encourage you to visit my website. It is a portal and it's fluid and moving. And the courses that I offer are all activations, and there's a progression, and I give detail at the top of the website. I talk about the embodiment portal and how to utilize the website. And yes, there's an expense involved, but that's because money is an operating system right now. But that's also part of what's controlling humanity. We judge by worth, but that's also purposeful, because we don't realize that because everything's energy and frequency, you think you're judging something outside of you as worth. So whether or not you choose to step into this, whether or not, is it worth it? But what you don't understand is that it's you. You're actually judging yourself. So imagine it this way, that if we had the choice between, let's just say, an organic food and a non-organic food, and the organic food is more expensive, but it brings a level of harmony and balance to this physical vehicle. Okay, just from a practical level, it brings harmony and balance. But from an energetic level, it opens yourself to you. It's the difference between how I'm treating myself. We don't realize that the way I treat myself is the way the universe treats me. And this is where it can be a little bit complicated, or seemingly complicated, if we're not embodied. But, when you start to realize that my thought process is that this is more expensive, so therefore I'm not going to get it, and this is just as good. But it's me. It's my body. It's myself. So what am I doing? I'm telling myself to compromise. I'm telling myself that I'm not worth the great, I'm worth the just as good, and it's okay. We don't realize what we're doing. And we also don't realize that if I don't want to pay for that person's service, then I'm telling the universe that someone else doesn't want to pay for me. Because if I'm judging, I'm radiating the energy of diminishing worth. So I can't think that I'm worth something and that's worth nothing. We think those are separate. It's not separate. It's a quantum field. And I'm the one that's thinking that way. I'm the one that's creating that way. Then therefore, if the unseen is creating the seen, then that's how life is going to treat me. Then I'm always going to be struggling. I'm going to be withholding. I'm going to be diminishing. And I'm going to always be searching for the way out. Because I think that there's a difference between me deserving and collecting all kinds of money, but I don't want to pay it out. And it's not. It's all the same energy and frequency. So this is this deeper level of reciprocity and balance and harmony, is when I freely give, I freely receive. And often people too much give, they give everything away, they don't care. Then the universe doesn't care about you as well. So there's a balance and a harmony, and there's a noticing. Am I judging? Am I stopping? Why? Often when people bump up against something, especially with something that they feel gravitated towards, and then they notice a price and they go, no. It's because there's an immediate judgment. There's something that they're comparing to inside themselves. And they begin to start to judge the other person or judge the situation. Sometimes there's an awareness that says, oh, that isn't what I thought it was. That's okay. It isn't a one and done, and it isn't something that's broken or to be fixed. I'm simply awakening layers and levels of energy that have been coming through the thought, but are actually playing through the physical body as emotions. This is where it gets back to some of the things I've touched on, that, the thought is the mental, the container, and the emotions is the creation part. We are energy and frequency we're creating. And so what the outside world wants to do is give the container through judgment, through control, and these are all on my website. I have a whole series of restoring the original soul fragment and releasing the imprint of control, judgment, sacrifice, all these things that we've carried within our physicality. And so, but there's a fee for them specifically. And if you go into the places of judgment about that, you may limit yourself. And sometimes we have to break through. And again, this is not about convincing you towards me. It's about opening up an energy field to see where your own energy sits with your own life. Am I judging myself? Am I diminishing? Do I think I'm more important or not important enough? Am I hoarding and holding? Money's sole purpose is to be spent. It's a movement and energy. It's a frequency band. And it's one of the largest control mechanisms on the planet. it is, to me, in the book that one of the books that I just wrote, one recent one, is Money, the Currency of Fear, because it's the mechanism that keeps us poisoning ourselves, diminishing ourselves, eating foods that are not healthy because we think, it's what we can afford, only taking in the information that feels affordable, everything, it's this game, and it keeps us out of harmony and balance. So I feel like sort of the moral of the story for today's episode is noticing, am I in harmony with myself, self to self? Am I treating myself with reverence, with love? Am I free? Am I at peace internally, self to self? Because the way the universe works in harmony is, if I'm in the harmonious balance, and I'm me to me, and I'm in harmonious balance with the cellular body, not only is my cellular body and my physical body in perfect health and harmony, but I'm also radiating to the full earth and all of the frequency of the earth. And by universal law, then all that is in harmony with me, it has to come into my physical reality, because the unseen is creating the seen. And so, unbeknownst to you, abundance and joy and life and vitality come into your world. And it may not look, and most likely will not look, anything in the way that you thought, because humanity has this illusion that they want money, but that's not really what they want. They want freedom, they want joy, they want sometimes things, they want to travel, they want the internal, ultimately we want the internal expression, the feeling. We're seeking a feeling, which is the creation part of creation itself. But you can create that feeling. You can feel that all on your own, through harmony and balance. And when you do that, it's not nothing, it's everything. This is the ordinary becoming extraordinary. And in that is when the magic happens. And this is what the new earth is. This is what the true earth is. This is what I feel that I'm here for. I've asked that question, like, what's the ultimate purpose of all this? And my purpose is not to sit and talk and share all the time. It is to do that. But the greater purpose is to feel happy, to feel peaceful. I want to feel that, and I do. And I feel happy and peaceful feeding the ducks and the squirrels and beyond that. And I'm excited to express this frequency and this energy, and to start to feel life coming back in, awakening. And I felt it in my own journey last night. I could feel like I am carrying the eternal life frequency codes within my physicality, and they have now fully clicked in, and I could begin to feel it. Where I was like, the body's remembering, it's remembering, it's remembering. And I can feel it remembering. And my human journey was like, traveling through my physical life and my various different ages, chronological ages, but not just from a place that felt exterior. This was the internal, and I can feel it. Like the remembering of life itself, returning to the cellular body of any place it hadn't. The reciprocity, the harmony, the balance, like, it becomes amazing. And I'm radiating that, and I'm sure you can feel it. It's contagious. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's life. We are here in this physical form as life, to radiate and to connect. I love you. Life loves you. It's not meant to struggle. We're not meant to be sick. We're not meant to be limited. We're not meant to feel alone. We're not meant to feel empty or feel like we can't get what others have and we give up. We're meant to thrive. And I'm here as that representation. And the beginning has to be the trust in the unseen. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself. Treat your body with reverence and love, no matter what you think you can do. You can do more than you can ever imagine. And as you do that, as you continue to treat your body with reverence and love and joy, you will see the magic in your life. You will see it in your body, you will feel it, and it will show up in your physical reality. It has to. I showed up. Until next time, I'm Kathleen Haley, First Flame of Source, and I love you.